Hi, everybody. This is Anna from Esoteric Vancouver. And today I have Tien the Eamas. And I think I butchered the name a little bit, so I'll have him clear it up in a bit. And so Tien is the first Asian Transman to come out in Vancouver 2001. Tien has experienced racism, trans hatred, violence, isolation, and major financial losses. The Wizard rose after his failure, and his failed attempt suicide in 2009. In the face of hatred, racism, challenges, trans and gender ignorance and discrimination, Tien chooses joy, and he shines tons and tons of light into the world. And this joyful energy vibrates in all of his work. Tien has a BFA Interior Design and Feng Shui certificates and has learned from Christianity, Buddhism, Western paganism, Abraham Hicks, and he has this tienyourgenderguide.com, and he's also a spiritual teacher offering oracle readings, spiritual and gender guidance. He performs drag and pole and produces queer spirit fair. He lives in Vancouver, and right now he's on unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and the I do not know how to pronounce it, Tsleil-Waututh people. Usually I say the other phrases. And so let us welcome Tien on stage. Tien!
Hello, hello, hello! Imagine me running out.
Yay!
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming to our stage. And it has been an honor to really just have a chance to watch your videos, to get to know you in the background a little bit. And so usually I open the conversation with, tell us your story, because then we all love stories, and that's how we pass down the knowledge and wisdom. So tell us your story.
Well, you already went through my story in my bio, so do a little bit more detail, I guess.
A little bit more in detail, like what kind of when is the pivoting point? When is that sort of the rising moment, and how did that process go?
Ah, man, thank you for asking, because it really, really is the pivotal moment in my life. And the reason, because people will ask me, right? Oh, you must have been happy all your life. Be like, nope, I was a grumpy old fart for many decades, because I was a human being suffering in my ordinary day struggles. And at that point for me, because I was the first Asian trans man to come out in 2001, this is way before LGBTQ consciousness was the way it was, before NBs and non-binaries were more, commonly seen and honored, before rainbow queer anything was mainstream. That's when I came out. And, I was the only Asian trans man, and there were very, very few trans men in Vancouver. So we had a very challenging time already. And then plus there was me with all the intersectional realities of being of color, being Asian, being an immigrant without any family support. Life was already hard. And I'd been living as a lesbian prior to that. So life was already hard as that. Plus I was, spending quite a few years like trying to get into the country. I spent like 8 years trying to get my landed status, So compounded with all of those realities, then I transitioned, because it was what was there was next for me. And when I transitioned, life just got even harder. I had no idea what I was up against. So with all the various trans hatred, ignorance, phobia, disacknowledgement, tons of public humiliation, mockery, and trying really hard to be a man, trying really hard to pass as a man in a business setting. I was an interior designer at that point, and I was business networking a lot. I was the president of my business chapter. So on one hand, here am I, right, struggling really hard to have a great business. And my interior design business was fantastic. And it was great, fantastic in the sense that I did good work, but it was challenging, financially challenging as well. I put in so much effort and money into all of that. And behind of it, there was a lot of self-hatred, because, you compound, you internalize the hatred from outside, right? I didn't have it at first, but once people started mocking me on a daily basis and hating me, and there was no ID and nowhere to go pee, and the reality of it was consistent, that it just took me out. After like 6 years of going through that, I was so beaten up. I'd lost so much money trying so hard to prove that I was a successful businessman. And by the time 2009 came around, I was just struggling. I hated myself. I hated everybody. I was struggling in my suffering. I was blaming everybody, righteously so, right? I was blaming you racist person, or you trans hateful person. And I had so much reason because it was true. But I internalized it. And really, at the end of it, if I'm blaming someone, I was suffering. I was the one unhappy. And compounded with a loss of money, it was just ridiculous. I was in so much debt that in April 2009, I did commit suicide. I did attempt to commit suicide. And the next morning, I woke up obviously very disappointed and distraught, and in still that same chemical and emotional state. Very disappointed. And my soul said, Tien, you're still alive. What do you want to do now? And in this haze of chemical imbalance and grief, I just said, I don't care anymore. I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't care if they treat me well. I don't care if they keep hating me. I don't care if, I will never pass as a man. I just don't care. I just want to be happy. That's all I want to do. I just want to be happy. And my soul said, okay, Tien, promise me this one thing. If you're going to stick around on Earth, make sure you have a freaking good time. Otherwise, I'm going to give you my blessings. You can come home anytime. Mm-hmm. And that was a pivotal moment when I realized that I could choose, regardless of all my circumstances, of all the hatred and phobia and racism and debt and everything, all the abuse I'd suffered as a child, all of that, in the face of all of that, I could actually be happy. And it was a moment of like, oh, okay, why? Because I didn't care anymore. And it's so humbling to go, I don't care what people think. I'm just going to be happy. And honestly, I listened to my heart. That was when the heart just went, boom. Now you listen to me. I tell you, you go ride your bicycle. That will make you happy. Go and walk in the woods. That will make you happy. And that was, for me, the lesson that I will continue to always teach and always stress on. And for me, everything I do now is because I choose to and I want to. I don't do things out of obligation. I will perform at that gig. Why? Oh, that sounds like fun. Somebody asks me to go, watch something. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Somebody says, do you want to have tea with me? I'll be like, nah, not so much. Okay, no. Never led on or called on by financial gain. Never because I should or I have to be good for my business. And when I was invited to participate in the esoteric fair, it was like, oh, sure, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. So for me, that was what allowed my frequency to alter, because I was in such darkness and such a low frequency. I had no access because I kept blaming everybody else. But the moment I was willing to say it's entirely up to me to alter how I view life and what I choose to participate and look at life, then everything altered for me. Now, of course, it took a few years because I was suffering in all of that for like 2 decades. And so, I am here where I'm at, and really that's my pivot story. Hence, I do anything that I do, and I have lots of facets. I do so many things. Why? Guess why? Because it makes me happy.
Oh, I totally agree, because I was going through all of your materials and I was just like, wow, there's just so many different things you do. And so I guess the audience must be also curious. It's like between the interior design, do you always do magic, and then what you do now before that, or is this more like right in that moment you're like, this what's made me happy and then I'm gonna go on to this different path?
Yeah, I closed down my design business after my suicide attempt. then it wasn't because I didn't love design. I really didn't like the industry. And a lot of designers will tell you that too, right? And I'm still a great designer. I will design things based on little contracts here and there. I don't bother marketing it. I don't bother any of that. And feng shui is just natural for me. Maybe it's in our blood because we're, Chinese. And it's elemental. It's elemental. And for me, it's simple. You understand the elements. You understand how it works for harmony to be present. Easy. So I always do consultations here and there when people find me. That's awesome. And now I spend much more time in the world as an artist, as a maker. My wizardry and my spells. I concoct spells. I'm a goldsmith, and I do tons of custom work, and do a lot of magical symbols and charms and men's rings, all gender rings, a lot of pride lines and things like that. And then I'm a gender guide and spiritual teacher. I do readings. I do channeling. You know, stuff like that. So I have a lot of different modalities, and that's my priority now. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was clear. I will do this. Why? Because I know it's part of my soul expression, because it fills me up. I just have to, but have to not from my want to save the world kind of ego bound, have to. I have to because I know my gender guidance and spiritual teachings that I'm here to teach is just part of my expression. So even when
Yeah.
I'm performing, when I'm dancing or doing any drag or anything like that, it's all just for the fun of it.
Yes. If it's not fun, it's not worthwhile doing it.
You got it. You got it. Absolutely. I mean, 15 years ago, somebody asked me to do a conference with them, and it was a business partner. And I said, the first question was, this was even before I tried to commit suicide. It was already part of my desire, right? My first answer to them was like, is it going to be fun? And he was dumbfounded. He didn't know how to respond to that, because he was an ordinary businessman. Let's do this project. I'd be like, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. So pitch it to me in a way that's really fun.
Yeah. And then I think there's when it's almost like people always ask us, like, how do you find the energy, or how do you find like time, how do you prioritize, like when you follow the fun part of it, your heart already, like your body just follow your heart,
Very good.
right?
Very, very good. Yeah, because you can switch hats. For me, this past month has been pretty crazy. I'm maker, I'm designer, I'm working on some really great gold projects for custom work. And then the next moment, I put on my gender guide, I fly off somewhere and do a presentation at a sex and health conference. And then a week later, I put on my skanky little short shorts and I jump on a pole and I dance around. And then I come back and I do readings as a wizard. I guide people and I channel for people. And then, it's like within 2-3 weeks, boom, 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 all my hats are on. And it's
Yeah.
great. You allow yourself, because we love ourselves. We've come back to so
Mhm.
much love because we only care about our wellness, our joy, that you discover that, oh my God, I am number one. And you learn
Yeah.
to look after yourself so well. Your wellness, your body, your the way you think, your heart, everything is looked after well, that you're not aligned because something you're choosing to do is because you love it and it's fun. And everything is well. So, you give your body the time to integrate from this thing. I came back from the island from doing a show. So I had to rest for a little bit and allow that time. And it's just organic. And it happens organically because our bodies have that wisdom, and then guided by spirit that is part of you as well, your soul wisdom, and you listen to it, and we will always be looked after, by by our higher selves, by our spirit guides, and then we just listen to our bodies. And it's a different way of living life, and a lot of people are afraid of it, but the
Yes.
encouragement really is to just follow your heart a little bit more. Like, don't listen to the brain
Yeah.
so much. That brain is a noisy, horrible place. Don't listen to the brain.
Oh, I totally agree. And
Right.
and to having yeah, I totally agree. And having to say that, sort of like you must have sort of in your past how so many years of helping people, people are typically attract to you. They must have a type, or they must have similar situation. So who are the people you typically work with?
Because I wear so many hats, I attract so many different kinds of people. People who might be struggling in ordinary context around their relationships, or just having a hard life because they haven't discovered that light that they really want, right? They see me and they go, how do you
Mhm.
get so happy given that you've had such an abusive history and such a hard life? And I'd be like, and so those are the people who want that because they're ready. They're ready to move into the level where they finally have the audacity to actually enjoy
Yeah.
life. And it's not from a ego bound way. It might come from that because we all have a very healthy ego that wants us to not suffer. Our ego is always
Mhm.
wanting us to have more pleasure and more joy, more love, which is great. Except that how we go about accessing that is really flawed.
Yeah. It's
So
like kind
when
of
I
like, here's a pill, take it.
exactly, oh my God, with the allopathic model, it just induces
Yeah.
all sorts of addiction, and
Yeah.
dependency on something else rather than self as source. You have all of it within you to be the most
Mhm.
best, highest self, or the most amazing person that you are, because it's in there. You just like
Mhm.
forgot it. You beat it down.
Mhm.
Other people beat it down. You listen to them. So lots of different people, from people who want coaching around their spirituality, people who want coaching and guidance around how to be, how to be more magical, how to be more true in their own gender expression, or whatever, anything, any old person. Really, I coach all sorts of
Okay.
different kinds of people. So, yeah.
That's
But
great. That's great. This is going to be the one trusted guidance of a lot of different, forever, a lot of different, I guess, and the medicines that they seek, and which is great.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so the next question that I have is, so we know that you do a lot of things. So if people go to the booth, your booth at
Mhm.
on the July, sorry, my brain is like walking in millions different direction right now. For July 21st at the Esoteric Fair, what are they gonna find at the booth?
When you come to the Tien the Wizard booth, it does say
Mhm.
Tien Neo Eamas Wizard. You can't miss me because it's really quite bright, shining light. What you will find is my gold and silver smithing work with a
Mhm.
really nice array of work that I have been creating for 26 years as a gold and silversmith. And I do
Mhm.
specialize in magical, mystical charms, men's rings, all gendered rings, classical gem settings as well. So if you're not at all into any of the mystical or sacred geometry, anything like that, get a nice, beautiful gemstone setting. That's all there as well. Wedding rings, heirloom resetting. So that's my display with very low price points. Well, not low as in cheap because it's not, but lower price points to much higher price points when it comes to custom work. So at the booth, you'll get a nice display of that and lots of shopping opportunity. There will be sales as well. There's always sales. And also, you'll have my spells and my oracle decks that I've also drawn and created myself. Yes, I didn't say that. I do card readings from my own decks that I've created and published. So I've published 2 decks of cards, and the third one is in the works right now. So you'll see that. You'll see some cards with the if it's not busy, I might do a little, one card pull for you for a little donation. You'll have spells to pick from, which are little sacred, little fun rituals that you can perform, all packaged for you, easy to use, and then my jewelry as well.
Okay, so for people who are thinking about, because then like I'm imagining like the some of the people were like, oh, I want my jewelry custom, like
Yeah,
remade again,
yeah.
and then they're at your booth, and then they're like, oh, I forgot to bring it, I didn't know you could do such things. So for people who are watching and you're thinking about, hey, I have some pieces that I would like to redesign, remember to bring it down to the fair,
You don't
because
need,
then
I'm
Tian
gonna
can
say
look at
something.
it.
You
Yeah.
don't need to. You don't need to. In fact, I don't
Okay.
want people to do that because when I am at my booth, I'm managing
Mhm.
direct sales.
Right.
People are
Okay.
trying things on. I have a postcard to have people take away with them once they find out, seen some photos of my before and
Mhm.
after work. Just follow me because the work around heirloom resetting takes a lot more intentionality and planning. It's a whole
Yes.
project management and agreement, proposal, all of that. That's on the, it's not like this is here right now. It fits,
Oh, no,
great.
no, no,
You
no,
love
no.
it, buy it now. So it's great. You'll set up for another time to meet me in my studio and then we'll converse
Yeah.
later. But definitely come and
Okay.
meet me. That's the great thing. So
Yes.
you'll meet me, you'll see what I'm like. I mean, I'm pretty clearly like this in real life, anyways. and you'll see whether or not it's a fit, and that you'll get to
Yeah.
actually see my little babies like all right there, and you'll feel the energy, and you'll just feel
Yeah.
how beautiful and happy everything is.
So should they even like take a picture of the piece that they want to reset and then show it to you to
Absolutely.
just talk to you?
Absolutely. They can always send me an image by, messenger, email, whatever you want to contact me. Just send me a photo. Otherwise, we'll stay in touch. It's very simple. Once you got my
Okay.
card, you'll just message me when you're ready, and then off we go. We'll chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am
Okay.
local. I am local.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Yes, yes, that's the best thing because then like the last thing you want to do is send your baby, your prized heirloom to somewhere else and you don't know if it's safe.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Okay. And so I know that there's so many different social media, and then we kind of talk about this. The main social media is right under your name. So it's a Tien Neo Eamas. That's the one that people could always find you. And then there's the several ones. We'll make sure that we listed all of them in the next screen coming
yeah.
up when I
Great,
video edit this
great,
conversation.
awesome.
And meanwhile, let's do a free talk because we have lots and lots of time. And if you
Great.
have time, I'm willing to just open the conversation, do whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Let's talk. What else do you wanna?
Okay.
What else do you want to chat about? Oh, it's on live,
I
right?
mean,
So
yeah, this is on live, so we're like now we get the business done. Shove it aside. So like what like why magic? Because there's so many different streams of spirituality. Right. And then it's like, why magic? What like we read in your bio, there's like the Christianity element, you work with the Buddhist and so many other ones. Why magic?
I like the word magic. Thank you for that question. And if you notice, my word magic is in the Old English form, Magick. The Old English form of magic was actually um, more conducive for people in the mystical and pagan arts long time ago, prior to Christian colonization all over the planet. So magic was the space of transformation. So you'll listen to lots of different stories around philosopher's stones if we're talking about the European context. The changing of lead to gold, alchemy, all of that. That's the world of magic, where it's a spiritual way of being
Mhm.
that then moves and transforms life,
Mhm.
as opposed to Magic, which is the common way of looking at magic. That one is the illusion. It's illusionary. It's not transformative. It's illusionary. I can now pull a rabbit out of a hat. La la. But it's not actually real. It's an illusion. So
Right.
magic with a K is more a spiritual transformation. It's an alchemical transformation. And for me, the word magic is way more fun.
Yes.
Honestly, it is way more fun than the word spirituality. The word spirituality has been used for a very long time. And nowadays, it has just gotten so heavy and serious. And I go in, I'm a monkey sign, Chinese astrology, so a little bit mischievous and always a little bit, here to cause a bit of ruckus. That's just what I do. I'll go in and I'll tease people, right? I'll be like, you are so serious. Spirituality is not supposed to be serious. It's light.
Mhm.
Light
Mhm.
means light, buoyant, not just light
Mhm.
shining bright, but also light. It's not about
Mhm.
trying very hard. It's not about beating yourself up for having a
Mhm.
silly humanity. No, it's about lightness and joy and love and things that are enjoyable. So I love the word magic because it also means the lightness and playfulness and fun.
Mhm. Okay, so I'm trying to see how because then there's that bit of the journey that we kind of like quickly went through when we
Okay.
are in our earlier interview, and there's that part where after the suicidal attempt,
Mm-hmm.
and from that to finding your first groundwork, right? And
Great.
what's that process like? Just in case if there's
Ah,
an audience out there who's trying to veer through that first awakening, and what's your how was your experience?
you know what? As I said, that the first the most important thing is that we have to be willing to let go of your suffering, which is what I declared when my soul asked me, what do you want to do now? And I said, I don't care anymore. And we have to get to that place. As long as you're hanging on to some ego-bound version about how you think life should go, or what kind of amazing person you should be, you're still stuck in an ego-bound version of yourself. And you haven't allowed spirit to actually say, oh no, this is actually what life is about. Life isn't about, making lots of money or being a successful this and that and having, 5 million followers. That's not what life is. So we have to be willing to let it go. And that's a challenging one because the human brain, the human ego has got such a huge hold on so many of us. And we'd rather listen to that because it gives us accolades. Yeah, it gives us recognition. It means, oh, I'm so important because I just wore this thing and I wore around and I took a bunch of selfies and now everybody likes me. Oh, I'm so famous. I'm so valuable. I must mean something. Oh, I must be beautiful. All of that stuff that means nothing. Means nothing at all in terms, because you look at that person and you feel that person, and that person is not authentically happy, is not genuinely present and loving themselves. So we have to be willing to let it all go and give it up. Let go. What was that? A couple older spiritual teachers. Be let go and let God is one of the phrases that we've heard. Yeah, we have to just let it go, and then be quiet. And to be quiet simply means to stop listening to the brain. The brain's gonna say all sorts of dumb things. And a lot of my training with people is a very Buddhist methodology where you start to become present. You get very, very present with what's actually going on. Oh, this is my body. Oh, this is the floor. This is the eat my rice. Things like that. Be fully present and not be stuck in your head. And once we can start to distinguish and pull them apart, then you start to realize that everything in your head is just noise. None of it is real. And then we can choose to listen to it or not if it makes you happy. That's all.
Yes. And
but the foundation is to be willing to let it go and be willing to release and give up all your ideas of what life should be. And then you come to nothing. Right? Nothing. Emptiness. That's that Buddhist space where nothing. It doesn't matter. And when it's nothing and it's a little bit quiet, now you can go, oh, I want to eat an apple because that will make me happy. Great. And the more and more you listen, you will start just doing more things. Oh, I really want to take that bath now. Great, because that will be really fun.
Yes. And it is so interesting because when people hear the word let go or the phrase let go, there's a lot of resistance I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because we're like, let go. And like, who am I going
right.
to become when I let go? And I think that's the beauty of it, is because it doesn't matter who you become, you already know you're unhappy. You were like, you were unhappy and you don't like what the identity of you. So let go and then start with a clean slate and then pick and choose. If you like cherries, pick cherry. If you like apple, pick apple. If you like exercise, go do that, right?
Yeah. Very, very great. It's really, really simple. Let's say living a great life is exactly that. It's that bowl of fruit, right? Is that, I like apples. I don't like orange. I eat a lot of apples. Once in a while, the orange will come and I'll be like, oh, I tried that first time. Oh, I don't like it. Never mind. I eat apples. But how most people do it is, oh, I like apples. Suddenly the orange comes and they eat it. They don't like it. And then they go, why are you here? I don't like you. And they eat apples. And then orange comes again. And they go, why you keep coming? Why are you oppressing me? Why you make me unhappy? And why every time you show up all the time, I tell you so much how much I hate you. And law of attraction, quantum physics will keep that stupid orange around. Because you keep talking about it. You keep sharing about it. You keep posting about it. You keep, complaining about it. No wonder it's here. Rather than, oh, no, that's okay, orange. I like apple. I eat apple. I share about apple. I'm happy with apple. So easy, right?
Yeah. And then the wizard way, I guess this is fitting. I can say that. The wizard way is once in a while, you start turning that orange into something else.
Exactly. Exactly. And that really is the wizard's way. And that's what is it, you allow the orange to be an orange, and it could be a person, it could be a circumstance, and you're able to allow it to be, embrace it for what it is, and then you allow its highest light to shine. And in
Yeah.
that space, something alters, because people will always alter when you allow them to alter, because you're not judging them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's because then when you were saying about orange, I was like, oh, it would be very interesting if we can kind of like zap it into like a peach or whatever it is. And then literally that's what we ended up doing as manifestation, is that we just learn how to use that energy and call in other
Very
things
good.
into your life.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very well said. Very good alchemy. It's exactly that we can. And the thing that doesn't allow us to do that is when we judge the orange and we hate the orange. That's not love and light energy. We have to allow it and go, oh, you're an interesting creature. How interesting. Let's see. But we right away hate it. We judge it, like with any situation in life that humans want to choose to hate and judge. That's what we're doing.
Mhm.
And then we're continuing keeping it around. And that goes for
Mhm.
every single thing, whether it's political situations, whether it's simple body issues you got. The more you hate it, the more it sticks around. And we have to learn to love this all. And as a trans man, I had to go through years of coming to peace with my body, because the world said it was stupid.
Mhm.
The world said there's something wrong with you. And I needed to go through my own transformation to love my body
Mhm.
and not be attached to whatever meanings that the world has given it based on their own notion of what gender should be. Gender is all a human. That's a whole different story here. In my spiritual guidance as a gender guide, I don't do gender work in the ordinary, conversation. I do it, and the whole point of my work as a gender guide is to connect soul to soul. That's all. It's not
Yeah.
about labels. It's not about pronouns. It's none of that. It's about who are
Yeah.
you really, which is the whole thing, right? Take away all of the past, all of that noise. Who are you as a soul? So that's the work I
Yeah.
do as a gender guide. Yeah, it's really awesome. Thank you. Comes back to the same thing.
Yeah, it all comes back to the same thing. It's really all about like love. And then like during the conversation, like one phrase that kept popping into my mind, like one of my mentors used to say, just love them into submission. If you force people,
Oh, so
they're
nice.
not gonna listen.
That's
They're
great.
not gonna, like, people out of hate, out of negative energy, they're never gonna submit. They
Yeah.
might verbally say that, sure, I give up, but then they're never deep down in their heart. So she just said, love them into submission, because
So
that's
sweet.
the only
That's great.
thing that you're gonna be able to assimilate other people is through love.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and the other thing that was going on in my mind when you're talking, and there's I'm trying to like catch all the thoughts. There's coming back to love, and always come back to joy, right? Whether like for me, when I don't like gender sexual preference is not my specific topics that I coach on. And sometimes I will have people that come into my space, they're like, they're like traditional heterosexual relationship, and things happen in their relationship, and they're like, I just like, we still love each other, but then there's like differences that we cannot agree on sexually. And I said, well, like, it's kind of like a thing. Some people need more vegetables, some people need more
Yeah,
fruit, some people need more steak. If you
yeah.
need more, you need to find a way to have that conversation and go have more. Like,
Well done.
it's
Well
not
done.
yeah, it's not a sin in the sense where both party in that relationships, or all the parties, if
Mhm.
you're in a situation where there's more partner, everybody has that acknowledgement, the how do you say it, clarification, and understanding that this is just this person's need, and how
Yeah,
can we ensure that they live their best life and have
yeah.
that joy in their life, and just support them because then you love
So
them.
great. Well said. Very well said. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's about communication and being honest with what you want, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely. So that was like the things that was going on in my mind for sure.
You were saying that your mentor says to love people into submission. I'm a cheeky monkey, and my have a more of a kung fu take on it. My kung fu take is highly disciplined, and I will tell my clients, I'll be like, I will beat you until you are happy. None of this soft, fluffy, I love you. No, 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 no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if your clients go to you, like some people they need the tough love, and then they want the tough
Totally.
love.
A lot of people need the tough love. And for me, there is the tough love. I can be very stern because I'm clear. Because I had to be stern with myself. I kept wanting to think about these horrible things that people did to me because it was true and it was real. And I kept wanting to blame them. And it really took such discipline to go, no, I'm not interested in thinking things that make me unhappy. I don't care anymore because then I'm the one who suffers. They aren't suffering. They have no idea. They're just doing that thing, la 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 la. But I'm the one
Yeah.
suffering and hating my life and wanting to kill myself. So I had to really like be so disciplined. Hence, it's great for people who are unaware of the practice. This is the practice. It's right here. It's not very hard. It's actually a very easy practice, but it's going to take a challenge because it means you have to submit to your desire for joy. And this is what it takes. If you really want joy, you got to stop talking like that. You got to, you got to alter the way you think and your mindset, and all that stuff has to shift. And people don't know because we don't live in a culture that, nourishes joy.
Yeah, there's something, and I don't know if it's because the mainstream media has slowly, I don't want to say brainwash, but it is the brainwash, and
It
to
is.
tell people that joy is supposed to look this way,
Yeah.
and it is not. Like joy comes from here, from
Yeah.
your heart and my heart. We may feel joy differently, and
Yeah.
then our job is to get in touch with whatever's
Find out
here,
what yours
and
is.
then
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And joy is not, I will leave my clients with the very crucial coaching that joy is got nothing to do with anybody else.
Mm.
It's not about the person you're in a relationship with, not about going to hang out with people whom you like. No. No, no, no. It's not about buying things or owning things. And it's not about anybody else. So go discover what joy is for you, given whatever capacity you have right now, whatever access you have right now. What in there can you discover? It really could be as simple as, oh, I can go to the forest and put my feet in that glacial bath. Oh, that would be really fun. Go do that, because that you can do.
Oh yeah, definitely. And when you talk about the barefoot thing, and I don't know if you heard about this before, but like apparently people who has like past lives in as a wizard or like spiritual beings, a wizard, witches, and da 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 da. Da. There's something about bare feet that
Yeah,
you naturally still want to do in this lifetime.
yeah,
And it is so funny because my parents will always look at me and then they're gonna be like, why don't you wear your slippers? I was like,
yeah.
I can't, I need to be barefooted. I don't know why.
That's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you want to be touching the earth and all of that for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Okay, so before we sort of end the conversation here, what, like, if you have to give our audience a parting words, like your sort of the last bit of the wisdom, and what would you say to them?
If there's things in life that you need to manage, it's a basic Lao Tzu teaching. So you do what you need to do. Yes. So if you need to fix your hot water tank, great. Go fix your hot water tank. And then just do it. And then chill out and flow, and then pay a lot more attention to doing things that make you happy.
Mm.
And
Mm.
life just lines up, and I promise you, more and more joy will just be there with you. You'll be present in that frequency, and you'll just have more and more of it. And you'll learn how to manage ordinary situations that you may not like, but you can find peace doing it. Because you're not, it's okay, I do it. and then you shift and be more interested in doing things that are making you happy. That's your
Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree, and I can see that kung fu master in you, whereas
right.
it's like in this moment of, and it's not stillness, it's in this moment of mindfulness and knowing where you want to go. As things come, you just
You do,
navigate,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
right?
take it on, do it, yeah,
And then just keep going.
yeah, yeah. Be much more interested in being happy. Do whatever you need to do, and then do things that make you happy, and then stop talking and sharing about stupid things. Just stop it. Stop posting about the stupid
Stop a
things
little
that
bit.
are happening. Stop it.
I know there's just way too many
Ah,
people are like constantly sharing different things that maybe we don't need to share.
no, we don't need to. We don't need to keep adding more darkness. The world already has a lot of challenges. We don't need to keep adding darkness to it. We can
Yeah,
uplift
yeah,
people. Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you, Tian. Thank you
You're
for this
welcome.
lovely, lovely conversation.
Yeah, delightful.
And
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And last thing I want to say to our audience, remember to come and see Tian at the Esoteric Vancouver Fair, the Esoteric Arts Fair. And I want to leave you with Tian's tagline, you'll believe in magic, because that's going to make your life so much more enjoyable. And then you're going to have so much more fun and
Yeah.
follow your, and then
Yeah.
we'll see you around. Okay. Thank you, Tian.